Just a second. Everybody's saying they're ready, so there we go. And we are into picks and bans. Looks like they did switch sides from last game, and looks like first ban will be Ari for mTw.NA.
Now, I didn't exactly write down all the bans we had from last game, although I believe was Ari banned out the first game as well, or I don't exactly know.
No, she was not. They banned out junglers first game.
Okay, so we do see Ari and Cassiopeia being banned from mTw. Meanwhile, purple side Lzuruha Gaming has decided to ban out Shen. And of course, Shen, ever since he got that Ririk, has been an annoying champion. I like to joke around and say he's a menace in top, middle, bottom, or jungle, depending. It doesn't matter where he is. Shen is just super, super annoying. He is very resilient, can now dish out a decent amount of damage, and of course has the ultimate shield that is going to be saving whatever champion you try to focus down in a team fight. So Shen, super, super annoying champion. And of course, now banning out Lee Sin, as they did see last game, Gosuzuna's Lee Sin really gave them a problem. Even though they switched up their little metagame there and sent 2 top and 1 bottom lane, that Lee Sin was just so much of a problem. So I don't fault them for banning him at all.
Yeah, definitely. After what I saw last game, you definitely don't want Lee Sin available. And a really good job picking up Shen as their first ban. That's a really strong thing to do because you know that you are second pick. You're going to have to ban Shen eventually anyways. So you just go ahead and get it out of the way first. And that does save your last ban to try to get an idea from the bans of mTw.NA what they're trying to go for as far as their team comp. Now, if you go ahead and look at the bans for mTw.NA, they have banned Ari, Cassiopeia, and Urgot. So 3 really strong mid lanes. You don't really think of Urgot as a mid lane, but he can pretty much be played in whatever lane he wants. He goes 1v2, he goes 2v1, wherever you want to put him. Urgot just a really strong pick, especially since I Am Hanover, where sort of, a Moscow 5 revealed that he pretty much just destroys everything all the time, forever and always. And so they did pick him up, and first pick once again is Janna. She is kind of the #1 support. People are like, hey, Riot doesn't like us to have health anymore, so what happens if we just have a spell shield and it works fine? So looks like Janna will be the first pick up there for mTw.NA, and it will be interesting to see what Lzuruha decides to counter, as they will get 2 picks as soon as mTw.NA locks in. No! Ooh. The trolls are too good. Decide to go with Mundo, but they have not locked in for 10 more seconds.
Oh, I really hope we
oh my goodness.
I really hope we pick up a Mundo. I don't care where Mundo's going. He's going to go where he pleases. Now switching to Nautilus. All these champions are after my own heart. Are you locking in Nautilus? Are you going to troll us to the last second? Oh, come on. Yes! They pick up Nautilus. I'm so happy.
Wow, that's actually something I don't approve of.
What?
Okay, dude. Okay, check this out. Check this out. Nautilus. Where does he start? Red buff. No, has to go to blue buff. You just run straight to blue buff. Plus, if Lzuruha picks up anything like a Shyvana, it's just GG, because you can't. Plus, if they go for like a high level 1 invade team, you can't give not Olaf. You can't give Nautilus that's blue buff. It's just really easy, kind of like an Amumu almost. Really, really easy to give in the jungle, but that does mean that you have to invade, and that does put a lot of pressure on your team, because if you don't invade, then Nautilus just has, it's almost like Blitzcrank jungles, but with a little bit more AoE.
However, I don't think Nautilus is going in the jungle. I've seen players like Westrice playing him in the top lane like a Malphite, and he is a true terror in top lane. So if they play him in the jungle, I do agree he is very easy to deal with in the early stages of his jungle. But if they're playing him in a top lane, like I would really get excited about, I don't really know how they're gonna fare against him. He is sustainy, he is tanky, and he can dish out a decent amount of damage. He has the passive staggering blow to crowd control to set up ganks. He is just a terror in the top lane. So if we see him top lane, I'm gonna be super excited. If we see him in the jungle though, nah, I gotta agree with you. I don't like him in the jungle.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so these next 2 champions picked up by mTw.NA are Corki and Leona. And if anybody else has ever played a Corki Leona bottom lane, you know that there's these things called hit points. They don't really exist on the enemy team. See, it's kind of like wards. Wards used to have HP, and then they switched them over to a 3-hit kind of thing. And that's basically what champions are in bot lane with Corki Leona. Essentially, if you don't ward your bushes, if you go anywhere near the bushes, you just get popped ridiculously fast, especially with as high a caliber of players as we do have here coming out from mTw.NA. They're going to be able to get all 3 hits of Leona's passive Sunlight off when they go in for the aggressive dives. Corki Leona just really strong. If you guys don't haven't played that before, essentially Leona's going to sit in the bush and then Zenith Blade to stun anyone she wants. And then if she is level 6, drops the ult right down on top for a perma stun. Every single move does proc Sunlight, which does additional damage. Corki has an initiate as well. We'll be able to Valkyrie in there, pop his phosphorus bomb, turn on Gatling gun, and then nuke them down with some big ones. So bottom lane is just going to be extremely rough. And to counter that, it's going to be Atomic on Janna with, it looks like Jester will be going with his trademark Caitlyn.
Now, I don't think that's a bad pick because Caitlyn is going to have a lot of range to really keep her out of those Leona Zenith Blades. Leona might have to get super, super aggressive to do it, which fortunately Leona is exactly designed for, to be super, super aggressive in that bottom lane and really go for those Zenith Blade stun combinations to really melt down the range carry in the bottom lane. But that Caitlyn, with the shield from Janna, the extra damage, and the mobility through her high caliber net and the cupcakes that are going to be going down in those bushes, I don't think it's a terrible pick to go against that Leona. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have picked up, like Misfortune from last game or, like an Asher or even an Ezreal or something. I definitely like the Caitlyn pick on bottom, but quickly, let's talk about what's going on Goose's side, because this team is getting me excited in ways a League of Legends team should not get me excited.
Oh man, I was talking about that Corki Leona bottom lane, but with the last pickup of Jarvan, we could see Jarvan in the jungle, which is probably what we're going to see. But in case they just want to go hard in the paint, one thing that Goose was known for before they switched teams was the Dr. Duncanstein strat, and that is where you go Leona, Jarvan, bottom lane, and pretty much just sit back, get denied, and then all of a sudden you push all your buttons at the same time and everything dies because you just jump to whoever you want and they just can't do anything. They're knocked out, they're stunned, they are CC'd and just pretty much die instantly. So a really, really aggressive lane composition coming out here from mTw.NA. Like you said, from about Digester's pickup on Caitlyn, the extra move speed will help him get reposition himself as fast as possible, and the extra traps in the bushes will be able to prevent a lot of that sort of bush camping done there by Leona. So a good pickup there, especially since Digester's main is Caitlyn, and he does amazing things with that champion.
Oh man, there's a Victor being picked up for the middle lane from Lzuruha Gaming. I absolutely love the champions we have selected. Victor, people say he lacks a little bit of utility, but I just think they're playing him right. He has ridiculous ability power ratios. He is just a true terror in mid lane through all the damage going down. As the swaps and everything go down in the last event to select, it looks like Nautilus is going jungle.
Nautilus in jungle, yo! So that means that either A, we have a Jarvan top lane, or B, it's going to be mandatory Cloud, who will be going solo lane, whereas Jarvan and Leona will both be in bottom lane. They have a heal on Corki, so that is more of an aggressive, or more of a defensive option, but you really do want to pick up the heal on Corki, the ignite on Leona, but with double heal for bottom lane, I think it's going to be a really, really strong option or a strong chance that both Jarvan and Leona will be running down there.
Ooh, now, how do you feel about that kill lane against Caitlyn, who has the range, has the move speed from Janna, and has the net to get out of there? But, I mean, the aggressive nature, I'm just super, super excited if we do see that Jarvan Leona bot lane. They swapped around like 16 times what we were talking about, and every single time I'm like biting my nails. Now I have no nails left, so if I can't click on buttons, it's because my fingers are bleeding from anticipation of this Jarvan Leona bottom lane. But we see mandatory Cloud's Corki has flash and heal, and he would be going middle if they decide to send Jarvan and Leona bottom lane. If they don't do that, though, who is going to be middle on their team?
No, I definitely think that Corki can go middle. In fact, I've seen a lot of AP Corkis, sort of as troll builds recently. I don't think that's what we're going to see, but Corki definitely can go middle, has a lot of strong wave clearing, and definitely can just hold that out and avoid ganks thanks to his Valkyrie. Also a really good top lane pickup, just because Valkyrie just allows you to get out of jungle ganks for free, which is really what you have to worry about top lane. And he's ranged, so he doesn't have to worry about picking up CS either. I just really think that whoever goes mid, it's going to be really, really hard for them, just because Slushy plays one of the most destructive Victors I have ever seen. Like, he knows spell combos nobody else knows. Like, there's 4 buttons, but he presses the 5th one and does all of the damages. Like, that guy knows what's up as far as Victor is concerned. Victor, as soon as he came out, everybody's like, oh my goodness, this guy sucks so badly. But actually has really good ratios, really high burst damage, and plus the silence on his ult, plus allowing it to track, just turns out to be a little bit better than people originally thought. So, man, I don't know. So much wacky shenanigans going on right now.
Oh, I absolutely love this. And the thing is about Victor, how can you call a champion bad who has an area of effect silence that also deals out ridiculous amounts of damage? You just can't call that bad. You call that broken. That's what you call it. But we see a Mundo jungle from Lzuruha Gaming. We see a top lane Udyr. They stole that away from Goose, as we saw Udyr and Lee Sin doing a lot of damage. So really banning out and stealing champions from Goose that they had a decent amount of success with in the last game. But then Goose just falling on, the champions that they've been known for. We see a Corki, a Jarvan, a Leona, a Rumble, a Nautilus, a Caitlyn, a Janna, a Victor, an Udyr, and a Mundo. Who would have thought you'd see these champions in a tournament game?
Man, not a lot earlier on. Actually, a shout out to Akino Shao Ku in the chat, who mentioned that Nautilus ganks pretty much screw over bottom lane ridiculously hard, especially with Janna. Now, I think if it was like Alistar bottom lane, that just really like screws Dunk Strat like ridiculously hard. But Janna's kind of like an Alistar, does have that knockup, which can stop things propelling themselves through the air. So it does stop Leona from jumping. It does stop Balls from ulting, and as well as getting off his Dragon Strike knockup combo. So that could be effective. Atomic definitely knows how to use Janna. I believe that is his main. When he was trying out for the team, played nothing but Janna and just knows that ridiculously well. Oh man, it is 5 seconds until the observer mode does catch up with the actual games. So I want to take this opportunity once again to mention Gaming.Stack Exchange, who is sponsoring the $5,000 prize pool for this tournament. Definitely go check them out. Rate questions, ask questions. You have a chance to win a $250 prize as far as the graphics card is concerned. Also entered into a raffle for 3,500 Riot points. So definitely go check them out and let them know that you enjoy them sponsoring esports. Go ahead and tweet about the ggClassic, hashtag esports and ggClassic, as well as follow ggChronicle at ggChronicle, as well as LeagueCraft, who is also hosting and sponsoring this tournament at LeagueCraft on Twitter. So make sure to go ahead and check them out. And as we get things underway, I believe you have an online footprint that allows people to watch you play League of Legends.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I kind of, I do stuff every now and then. I cast, I stream games. There's this thing called the Battle Arena we do on Monday nights, or at now about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if not 9 p.m., where we get a bunch of community involvement going on. But we'll talk about that in a little bit, but because we have this game going on in our hands, as now we have mTw.NA, formerly known as a picture of a goose, in the bottom over here. They're going to be the blue team for this game. And then the colorblind purple/red/whatever color I decide to call them this game, Lzuruha Gaming, is going to be in top lane. If you guys out there in the chat have a fan favorite team that you want to win, do you want Goose to take the series 2-0 and advance to the round of 8, or do you want Lzuruha Gaming to bring it back 1-1 and take them to a really resounding Game 3? Let us know in chat. Yell at the top of your lungs, because I know Rapid and I are going to be doing that all game with these awesome champions. Just let us know who you're affiliated with, who you want to win, and how excited you are for this awesome match and this jungle invade that you called from the beginning of the game.
Dude, definitely. It looks like they know that Nautilus does have to go for that blue buff. They don't quite know which blue buff, and with the Dunk Strat, you have a lot of early game CC, really strong level 1 capabilities, so you don't know if they're going to invade and try to tank your blue buff, but with that aggressive positioning down in the bottom lane for Lzuruha, they will be trapping up the bottom bush. Actually, with that trap there, they could have actually laid 2 traps in the upper prongs of that triangle bush and prevented all movement through them, just opting for one more, and actually looks like the Jester's going to be trapping up his lane a little bit prematurely as well. They are pinging onto that bush. They want to go around there for the double golems, but that means that they will see Balls and Atlanta down in that bottom lane on Leona Jarvan. So I think they really need to back on out of there. They have been spotted, and with that standard in the bush, it looks like that will allow Atlanta and Balls to go ahead and pick up double golems, and Talandra's just going to go ahead, back off, and go head on up to top lane after picking up an extra potion.
Yeah, so this Nautilus looks like he's going to go through an unhindered jungle pattern, picking up his wolves, and now going for blue buff. Those Nautilus ganks, like you said, on the bottom lane, going to be so devastating if he's going to be able to get in there with a dredge line, then follow it up with his, I'm sorry, I didn't even know the name of the Riptide, and then staggering blow on top of everybody, and then the dunk combination between Balls and Atlanta on the bottom lane. So good right now. But meanwhile, on the other side, we see that Mundo has opted to start with his own blue buff, going to be going for wolves after that, as they did have the jungle invade going on and got to his jungle, looks like, just in time for the blue buff to spawn, so a little reverse action there. But Corki at level 1 already, shredding through this Victor over here with his Gatling gun. How do you feel about Victor being, one of those champions that has a lot of burst, but people really rag on him for being kind of squishy at the beginning of the game against this Corki who could just deal physical damage, which is something Victor might not have prepared himself for?
Yeah, he definitely did not. Only sitting at 33 armor. Didn't actually prepare for going up against the Corki, who will be going AD and not, the Trolley Z AP build. First gank of the game will be happening top lane. Ted Siggles is running up through the jungle and will actually wait for a cleaver. The creep wave is going to protect Zuna a little bit. He is in between creeps and the bush, so he knows something's up. Just by the way, Udyr is positioning himself. Looks like, yeah, that gank will not be happening. Just one of the weaknesses of, Ted Siggles in the jungle on Dr. Mundo. Looks like as far as the next gank is concerned, Smithy is running through the jungle really low on health, but is actually going to go for a gank down at bottom lane. He's not going to hit a ward quite yet. He's just going to go walk up through the bush. He was checking there. He juked back and forth a little bit just to check and see if there were any wards, but as that last ward was picked out, you actually see a heal used for sustain, which is a really weird use of that. I've seen a couple people do that, and actually the Jester does get grabbed, but crucially the Zenith Blade was missed there by Atlanta, and so that will not allow Goose, aka mTw.NA, to pick up that kill. The Jester just got really lucky there. Everything went horribly until that missed Zenith Blade let him get out alive.
And unfortunately, it looked like, as you were talking about, there being no wards in that bottom brush, Nautilus stutter step for just 1 second, which allowed Janna to place a ward down, and I think Goose picked up on that. They wanted to pop that heal to go in at a engagement where they had a decent amount of health, but Nautilus, realizing that Janna put the ward in there about 2 seconds before he walked in the bush, he waited for the gank to go down, so that heal just went off in an awkward timing, and then the Zenith Blade missed, and just one ward really spiraling Goose's plans out of control on the bottom lane.
Top lane is spiraling a few other things out of control. Talandra actually juking around in the bushes, will actually be able to pop in onto Zuna. Cannot engage while that Flame Spitter is alive, but will be able to heal up off of these creeps. Zuna has a shield, but so it does Talandra. Talandra's just like, I'm gonna run this way, and Zuna's like, okay guys, I'm okay, it's cool, truce, 15 minutes, no rush, we got this.
Mass carriers equals OP, and of course it's like the Daytona 500. Now Mundo's racing it out of nowhere. Rumble has the exhaust thrown down on him. Zuna, you don't look like you're long for this world, and Talandra is going to pick up the first blood after jukes and jives go on the top lane, but we missed the kill on the bottom lane. As did they dunk him? Did they dunk him around?
No, yes they did. They got an initial dunk from Atlanta. They got the knockup. Actually, no, they started with a knockup from Balls, then Atlanta came in, got the CC down on Jen, who almost made it back, but just so much damage coming out from the Jester kept them from going for that double, as Atlanta did drop ridiculously low. Jarvan actually popped Flash, I believe, for that. Yeah, popped that Flash unnecessarily, so the only summoner left in bottom lane is that exhaust, and they will have to wait for a while before any more of those summoners are available. So it's really going to hurt their bottom lane dunk strat, and I don't know, I think that bottom lane could start to go really in favor of Lzuruha.
Yeah, I think so, but the thing is, this Caitlyn is just, I don't know if she's just being pushed back to her tower too much or just being pushed around the bottom lane, but currently Jarvan with 42 CS to her 23. It's not that often you see the kill lane coming out ahead in the creep score count. They usually call it the kill lane because you go for kills, not for CS, but Caitlyn just being out-farmed right now. She did pick up a Doran's, but I'm going to shut up because I'm in the middle lane.
Here comes Nautilus, and will he actually get out the undertow? But actually, no, it's not undertow. That was just his passive, snaring Slushy in place, staggering blow, and will be able to harass down Slushy, make him go back, and he will actually pick up double Doran's ring, as well as boots, some potions and awards. So he's just going to run back in the lane after that really, I would call that a successful gank. You push him out of lane, you really get the farm advantage going on. It is 54 CS versus only 38 there for Slushy. So that's going to be a really strong option. Top lane, Zuna is in danger, could actually go down, no! But no turret shot there. Talandra did not want to go into turret range, as that would just signal Zuna to turn around and blow everything on him, and they would have traded kills there. So looks like instead of that, Talandra's just going to opt to back off, get the CS lead, and push Rumble back out of lane.
Yes,
which is not something you say too often.
No, pushing Rumble out of lane is not. That Udyr doing an excellent job of bullying around Rumble. As you said, most of the lanes are currently in CS favor of mTw.NA. However, if you take a look at Rumble's 21 CS to Udyr's 39, not even close. Oh, in the bottom lane here, Jarvan going for the knockup combo onto digESTR. Barely getting out of there alive. Holy crap. How did...
What is this? What is this sorcery? How do you do this?
We're both left speechless, and when there's two casters, you usually have one to pick up on the other one when someone, stops talking. I think we were both stunned, just stupefied at that right there.
Man, I was more stunned than ggClassic that fight, yo. That was ridiculous. Speaking of stunning things happening, ggClassic is running 21 defense and happened to put a couple of those points in bladed armor, which meant that when blue buff dropped dangerously low and it auto-attacked him, Mundo wound up picking that up instead of giving that to Slushy. So he's going to be without a blue buff, whereas Smithy will be handing off the blue buff to, well, basically no one himself, essentially, as top lane doesn't use mana, and you don't usually give mana to the AD carry, but triple Dorans is the build of the day as far as, well, most of the EU scene, as well as, well, basically people who are really, really good at this game. So Corki did pick that up. ggClassic actually only has one and boost after having only gone down once. Head Signals is actually in the bush and will actually go in onto Atlanta. Drops down dangerously low. Will actually go down. There's the trap setting down on top of the ggClassic, but a trap of his own will get him out of there. But no, the net comes off, but gets speared in the butt. As Balls says, you don't really enjoy what I'm about to do to you, but it's going to be pretty effective at picking up that kill. So it looks like Talandra is pushed back under his turret top lane.
Ooh, but bottom lane, we still have stuff going on. It looks like Xmithy's coming out of the jungle, landing the ultimate down onto Atomic, the tower diving. Look how tanky the bottom lane is, just taking tower shots all over as Xmithy is going to pick up the kill onto Atomic. And oh, barely getting out of that tower range and able to walk back down towards his team. He was one tower shot away from dead, but uh-oh, what was that up top?
Man, top lane just traded a really good job there by Udyr. It was like, hey, if you're going to turret dive me, I'm going to make it 1-4-1, as he popped an excellent turtle stance into bear stance into turtle stance into, well, they both died. So I guess that was a really good job by Rumble, bringing things back to even. But that is 2-1 in favor of Udyr in top lane, and Udyr just spirals ridiculously out of control against players like Rumble, because once he can get that magic resist on, once he can get, like, he has an AD build where he will go, like, wriggles into Warden's Mail, but the magic resist build, I believe it said AD, but that was actually armor. The magic resist build will involve things like Last Whisper and Merc Treads, which just basically mean that Rumble does no damage. And once you negate the Flame Spit or persistent damage, it's basically free farm for Udyr, who just turtle stances through everything, and you can't really do anything. And so I really think that Talandra, top lane, is going to be doing a lot of work as far as CS is concerned. You can see him already sitting at 47 to 34 CS, and being in a CS lead against Rumble is not something you see out of a whole lot of top laners.
And that Wit's End being just a factor of Udyr's build, that he really gets almost every single game, just doing so much more work against an AP champion up top like that Rumble. We did actually notice over here, taking a look at his skills, he's gone for the 2 points in Bear Stance, 4 points in Tiger Stance, stealing the damage onto Rumble that he needs to do, but only 1 point in that Turtle Stance, opting not to get more points in that, but going for Bear Stance instead. As on the bottom lane here, we see Atlanta popping an ultimate down onto the ggClassic. They are currently taking up residence behind Lzuruha's turret in the bottom lane. Atlanta is going to fall to that tower, but is going to get enough time for Balls to deal damage onto Atomic.
Atomic almost picked up a double kill, but Balls flashes out of the way. The spear will be enough to pick up the kill on Atomic, but he's just trolling around the turret and actually misses, so Balls will fall down here. Goes one more turret shot, one more auto attack. No, Balls gets out, but Head Signals is engaged, hits the cleaver of magic awesome winningness, and will pick up the kill on Balls. Excellent juking going down by Atomic, but Jarvan does fall there. Xmithy is engaged, and actually an excellent knockup. The ult goes down, but Atomic will live for just another second or two. 10 Signals is in the danger zone, as it looks like Slushy will come in there to back him up. Mandatory Cloud backing up Xmithy, coming down there from both mid lanes, actually coming down to support bottom lane, and wow, Atomic just doing some work. Is like, hey man, you're gonna dive my turret, I'm gonna show you what's up.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Balls is not able to get out of there. He ran through the bush and almost died to a Caitlyn cupcake. He was about to walk directly on top of it while Mundo was chasing him. Had to fall back, tried to get some moves down, but he does not have moves like Jagger, and it is going to wind up getting Lzuruha this dragon, at least the first dragon of the game. Yes, it is 11 minutes. Oh, Goose is going to try to contest it. Oh, Dredgeline picks up a kill on Dragon. Xmithy stealing that out of nowhere. So no, Goose currently has every single dragon in the series now because of that Dredgeline steal. Awesome, awesome job by Xmithy picking up that dragon kill.
Wow, wow, that's just so horrible because you did see Udyr teleport down from top lane, gave up a lot of CS, and really sort of gave up the advantage that he had made for himself top lane to teleport down there for that dragon, and then they didn't zone out the jungler. I don't understand what their methodology was there. Bottom lane, the Jester gets healed through Ignite. Look at that health! Oh my goodness, how do you do that? Lives with like negative health once again. The Janna all fully channeled there, and that is why Janna is the best support right now. She does everything. You know, most people don't think of her as sustained mid lane. A gank coming in there. Smithy will get stunned in the, what is that, gravity field by Slushy, and that gank attempt did not really go very far. Bottom lane, it looks like Balls and Atlanta are way behind the turret, forcing Atomic back off, forcing her to wait until the Jester gets back into lane. Looks like Talandra is still in the, you know, domination mode top lane, is able to just pretty much sustain through everything, and when you're running away, Flame Spitter does no damage. So there comes the bear stance, there comes the tiger stance, and yeah, there's nothing that Zuna will be able to do here.
No, Zuna unfortunately taking way too much damage from Udyr up top. However, the top lane is going in favor of the Lzuruha Game, but I would have to say the bottom lanes and middle lanes currently in favor of mTw.NA. Corky, we didn't even mention his farm right now is 123 CS, 24 now, to that Victor's 84. So a 40 CS lead in the middle. Victor is finally going to be able to pick up this blue buff that unfortunately the bladed armor of Mundo did steal last time we saw it come up. So he is finally going to be able to have a lot of mana and cooldown reduction to spam those spells he needs to. Oh, meanwhile, in the jungle, out of the jungle here, we see Xmithy coming in for a gank onto Udyr. Udyr's wanted to get knocked up in the air from that ultimate from Nautilus. Rumble is coming, a very nice flash over the wall, but oh, mispredicting where Udyr was going to go with that equalizer from Rumble as he's going to be trying to come and get some damage on the Talandra. He's going to pop Bear Stance to get out of there. A-okay though. The 3 points in Bear Stance compared to the 1 point in Turtle Stance really making up for a lot of move speed as Udyr's able to get in and out of fights at extreme ease. Mundo is coming out of the jungle now. Ted Stickles, however, he's going to get staggering blowed. Ultimate goes down. His W is going down as well, trying to deal as much damage to the Burning Agony and reduce the crowd control effect. But Xmithy goes back in with a dredge line. Slushy is now in here from the middle lane. Ultimate goes down. Nautilus cannot cast spells while that is up. Talandra getting extremely low. Zuna is not going to make anything good in that situation, trying to tower dive Talandra. Level 1 Turtle Stance OP, ladies and gentlemen.
What is this sorcery? How do you do that? That excellent turtle stance there. I was like, okay, he's gonna turtle stance. He's gonna turtle stance. And then he does it like the very last possible second. Massive trolls engaged. Udyr goes back after having been so effective in that fight. Ted Stickles goes in there. They actually ignited him through his ult. And there was just so many shenanigans. And then you saw, oh wait, you know that low CS mid lane? That, you know that Victor who's really bad comes up there and like full to zeros goes to Zuna. And then everything just from there on just went so bad there for mTw.NA. And the only thing, the thing I'd like to point out that is in that team fight, oh wow, actually bottom lane coming up here, gonna get some damage off onto Mandatory Cloud. The knockup is good, the shield is good, but Caitlyn really cannot step to Mandatory Cloud right now. Atomic going dangerously low, will actually go down. No, pops the exhaust, and will that be enough to pick up the kill? No, it looks like both Atomic, actually Atomic popping the ultimate, knocking Smithy out of the turret range, will be able to live once again. Janna doing some work.
That Janna is ridiculous. Atomic, you said that was his main, the only champion he's really played for the team thus far, and we can see why. Now Atlanta and Balls coming in. Atlanta, although missing another Zenith Blade, Xmithy trying to tank through Mundo. I don't think it's going to be of any effect. Xmithy is going to wind up falling as Ted Stickles Mundo picks up the kill. Meanwhile, Balls and Gosu Zuna are going to be able to follow down onto the Jester as he just gets a tower range, but not soon enough as he is going to fall down. Atlanta now hits a Zenith Blade into an equalizer and an ultimate as they melt down Slushy's low HP Victor, then turning on the Talandra, who unfortunately, even though he is super tanky and resilient right now, not going to match up to a 4-man just domination from Goose in that team fight right there. And unfortunately, you know, it did start up very strong as Atomic popped that ultimate by the tower. It looked like that Lzuruha Gaming was in an advantageous situation, but as soon as that bottom kill lane came into the team fight, things went south, even though there were missed Zenith Blades and skills just flying off the chart everywhere. Goose did come out ahead. I believe it was a 3-1 in that engagement.
Man, I started saying 3. Was it 3-1? Yeah. Oh wow.
3-0. I'm sorry. Lzuruha did not move in kills. They had 7 before, and they have 7 right now. 3-0. Wow.
They actually, I believe they picked up a couple kills. I think they might have just like respawned because that was such a long engagement. But yeah, so much action going down top lane. And right now, you know, they may have a 3-kill advantage. They may have, you know, 3K gold advantage or so. But really, they don't have an AP carry. They have Rumble top lane, who's really getting shut down there by Talandra, and then they have an AD, and then all of that melee from bottom lane. So they're really bruiser-centric right now, whereas Lzura does have that AP carry. And, you know, say what you want about being underfarmed, he's still there. He's still full to zeroed. You know, the other AP carry, I guess you would say, from ggClassic. So the weird lane comp is only effective up until maybe 20-25 minutes, and then it just starts going really in favor of Lzura. You see a lot of damage going down there, and instantaneous ult there by Atomic actually pushes Atlanta back into turret. Atomic is dropping dangerously low. Will she be able to get out of there? No, an instantaneous ult there from Atlanta, or actually from Jarvan rather, able to pick up that kill, but it looks like Mundo will be able to pick up one stun, or one slow rather. Atlanta will actually go down here to the Burning Agony from Mundo. Actually, will she go down? Yes, will be picked up there by Mundo. Will Mundo allow the headshot? Does pick that up, but actually now ggClassic is in the danger zone, sacrifices ggClassic for balls. Balls will actually go down here to Mundo once again. Actually, no! Massive damage there from Balls, who does pick up the kill. Goes hard in the paint, clocks in for those 24-hour shifts, and he is going to work right now.
Oh man, there's just so much in this game going around right now where champions that are so low and should die just do not. Oh, Slushy, what are you doing? You're just walking down the middle lane here. You're getting shredded to bits. I don't know what Slushy was thinking over there. It might have been a disconnect or something, but Slushy just literally walked through the middle lane and just got destroyed and mowed down by that Gatling gun on Corki. We did see Corki take the middle tower. Now bottom tower is going to fall in favor of mTw.NA. On top of that, Janna has picked up an Oracle's Elixir to really move around, try to get these wards out of here. Smithy and Mandatory Cloud, though, now going to be stealing that blue buff that that Victor is not up, and Mundo had just respawned. Taking a quick look at the vision, you know, mTw.NA does have vision of their, not really even vision of their river. They have one ward down there, and Lzuruha Gaming has vision of their own side of the map, but not a lot of warding going on. I guess it's attributed to the Oracle's War that has been going on. Another dragon falls in favor of Goose. That is currently 5 dragons in the entire 2-game series in favor to 0 of Lzuruha Gaming. So Goose doing an excellent job with these timers and just overall map dominance, even though they don't have all the wards in the map.
Yeah, a really good point there about the dragons. They're kind of doing the CLG-itis thing where they pretty much don't go for any dragons. Top lane actually goes to Zuna. Did pick up the kill there on Udyr under turret. Just doing a really good job at sustaining bottom lane. Balls not dying there to the ult. Will live with about 50 HP as well. So, wow, so many people just living with 0 HP. But Slushy says, I don't think that's going to happen. He runs top lane, insta-jibs Rumble once again. But Talandra did drop down there as well. And so that's going to be not a whole lot of things that Lzuruha did want to have happen. It is only 15-9, so only a 6-kill difference. And now that Atomic is coming down there, Atlanta is just so tanky right now. Has those ninja tabi, and wow. Yeah, not a whole lot ggClassic can do.
It's not every single day you see the support character going and say, like, you know what? I feel like killing the range carry all by myself right now. And that's what Atlanta looked like he was doing. But as soon as Atomic came into that fight, he knew he just did not have enough damage to really melt down the ggClassic's Caitlyn. And unfortunately, he decided to get out of there. We saw Mandatory Cloud's Corki coming down. Maybe they wanted to go for a gank, but Jester and Caitlyn backing off wisely as they do have a ward down at Dragon. Now Lzuruha Gaming is getting their game on point, and they're putting down wards in the river, warding up their own side of the jungle. And as I said before, Goose currently with no wards on the map. So if Lzuruha can just sit back, turtle up, farm a little bit, and really regain their map control, they are going to be the ones in position that Goose was in last game, where they knew exactly where their opponents were and were not, or were able to act and react accordingly to that. So even though this aggressive bottom lane is pushing all the way towards their base right now, if they could just defend and farm themselves up, they'll be in excellent position to take this game back. But in the middle, we have a team fight going on. Take it away, Rapid.
All right, well, middle lane, there was that initiation onto Dr. Mundo. Did drop dangerously low. Ball's actually not in a very good position to miss stun there. Ball's actually not allowed to jump over the wall. Will go down. The Valkyrie over the wall is good from Mandatory Cloud, but that is not where he wants to be. He's going to get bursted down there. But, yeah, Will actually finally fall down there to Talandra. ggClassic is in the danger zone. Will she be able to get out alive? Yes, Caitlyn is out of there. Does still have her ultimate available. Talandra is not going to make it out of here alive, but a lot of stuff going down over the wall. But that will be at 2-4-2, but Slushy and ggClassic were dangerously low there. Previously, ggClassic actually got out of a double dive below the second lane turret. bottom lane, and after getting ulted by Jarvan, perfectly saved the net to ult out of Jarvan's ult, and that got her out alive. She's like, well, the team fight's not over. Goes back in and then aids in picking up the kill there on Balls, and actually mandatory Cloud as well. So just so many shenanigans. Still a 6 kill lead here, already at 22 minutes. And it's right now that's, you know, ggClassic would really be scaling extremely hard, but she just got shut down so hard early game that it's going to take a while before just really having that solid AD carry is going to, you know, start mattering for Lzuruha. Corki really kind of gamed through that really hard as he Valkyried into 4 people on the enemy team, and that's not something you really want to do from over the wall, especially when you have such long-range poke as Corki has.
Yeah, but Corki really not just, you know, going balls to the wall in that fight, just wanted to make something happen. They did wind up focusing down on him and let all the tanky champions, like you said, role reversal going on there as Corki wound up getting melted down and focused, and the tanky champions picking up the kills. But as the people saw on stream, I was comparing gold counts from Caitlyn and Jarvan. Jarvan at 159 farm to Caitlyn, who just hit 100, and double her gold count right now. So that Caitlyn is nowhere near this 8-2 Jarvan. She is 1-4, and as you said, this is the point where she really starts scaling, but she is not going to be. Oh, there's more stuff going on the bottom lane. Rapid, this is all you.
All right, yeah, Tentacles did drop down there. Excellent ult there from Rumble, who came down all the way from top lane. Now, Atomic, Slushy, and ggClassic are all here. Saw an excellent tornado will actually knock up. Wow, the ult coming off there from Leona as well. The dunk from Dr. Duncanside himself. Balls picking up the kill there on ggClassic, and actually that will be an almost ace. What is this Udyr doing? No, he's living with about 2 health once again, preventing the ace, getting back alive, and that will be 4-0 as ggClassic does actually survive. So coming in there, dropping an excellent ult, and pretty much just winning that team fight along with that Dr. Duncanside strategy, which is actually scaling remarkably well, as it is not just the Leona Jarvan, it's more like the Corki Leona with a little bit of different lane assignments. So Mundo is actually back. Mundo and looks like Talandra will be going in here. They're trying to get a kill on a mandatory Cloud. He will drop down, but Tentacles drops down as well. And will Talandra be able to pick up the kill on ggClassic? No, gets CC there by Leona. Will Talandra actually go down? A missed tornado there by Atomic will actually not be enough to pick up the kill, actually enough to pick up the kill on Udyr, but there goes the Shirelias, and now Zuna and Atlanta will be able to get out of there alive. You just saw, man, Atlanta going hard in the paint. That level 5 max or a minimum CDR on Shield of Daybreak just coming up so clutch, allowing enough CC for Rumble, even though he had no health, to be able to pick up all of those kills.
Oh man, that was so good. Not only in the bottom lane there, but we saw on this stream right here. I'm just speechless at it. Xmithy dodging Caitlyn's shot with the Pilt over Peacemaker by dredge lining to a piece of scenery. Also dodging Victor's dodging the gravity field to get out of their A-OK. That was ridiculous, but oh my gosh. This, like you said, the dunk strategy on the bottom lane just scaling so well, and that is completely chalked up to the fact that not only did Jarvan start with a Wriggles Lantern to sustain himself in that lane, now has Infinity Edge and Brutalizer to really just melt people down left and right, but that farm advantage in his favor, the kill advantage amounting to so much, and ggClassic, as good as he is doing on Caitlyn, despite the fact he is 1-5, he's had great positioning all these fights and has been able to get out of there with some excellent ultimates from Atomic. He does not have the farm, as he doesn't even have a completed BF sword item right now. But uh-oh, Balls might just be a little bit too cocky here, no pun intended, as ggClassic is actually going to get dunked upon and destroyed by Balls himself. There are currently 3 more members of Lzuruha Gaming here, though he is going to fall pretty easily to that, oh my gosh, that Victor just dealing so much damage. Currently only 279 ability power, but he is hitting like a small Mack truck. So, but in the meantime, that was enough of a distraction for Goose to pick up an entire Baron by 4 members of the team.
Man, I don't even know what that damage was. I mean, yeah, like he says, AD casters OP, as apparently the damage coming out there from Balls was slightly immense, to use the TSMerism, and did actually pick that up. If we go ahead and check out his ult, it is 325 plus 230. That's math I cannot do on stream, but it is massive damage, which just got dropped all over Caitlyn's face, as she, yeah, like you said, doesn't have that does not have that, any completed BF stored item, no survivability, didn't even go triple Dorans into Wriggles, which is a lot more of a defensive build, which you can do to make your AD carry a little bit more of a bruiser. Looks like Atomic will find Mandatory Cloud with that Baron buff, goes ahead and throws off the Howling Gale to knock him away as, she's going to get out of there. Atomic's really been MVP this game, man. She is so effective, saving her team from pretty much 90% of the kills that would have happened, and if that's 90% and the 10% is 24, that is a lot of kills.
That is a buttload of kills, actually. We saw Nautilus soloing Dragon, continuing the trend that Goose has gotten every single Dragon in this best of 3 series thus far. I think the kill count is currently 6 or 7 to none in favor of Goose. Like you said, that CLG strategy of, even though they're mixing the two strategies, going for that Goose dunk lane on the bottom, picking up kills, being super, super aggressive, but then not really overextending too much as they've fallen back, picked up those Dragons, have the timers down like clockwork right now, and they're just continuing to press their advantage, and it really shows as they have a 48.7k to 32.1k advantage, and they haven't lost a tower yet in this second game.
Man, that's the lack of losing towers just shows you exactly how effective Goose has been at being aggressive, and that's really to be expected, as Duncanstein is really an aggressive strategy. If you at all play defensively at any point in that strategy, it's pretty much a loss, because that means that the aggressiveness that you're building your entire team comp around is not paying off. You had a little bit of an issue top lane with Rumble early on, did go down there for first blood, but Rumble doing a really good job at just sort of ulting waves until he picked up enough CS to go back and trade a flash over the wall. Dreamhack status on top of Slushy, almost gets bursted down, but an excellent ultimate there from Atomic will actually live as well. The ultimate dealing massive damage there from Slushy, who will actually get out alive. Will she go down? Yes, the big one will pick up the kill there. Digester is actually going to make it out alive as well. Will be able to deal damage to Zuna from the summoner platform, but actually goes down there to the massive damage from Mandatory Cloud, who will actually not be able to pick up the kill on Atomic. Goes down to the turret, but that is exactly the situation that we are in right now. Rumble diving summoner platform as well. Hella BMS. Wow, Balls goes in deep as well, and that is 3 members down to 4. Only Atomic left alive. Will Smithy be able to pick up this kill? No, it looks like Atomic will be forced to run back to her summoner platform. Pops down a ward there, so Smithy knows it's over. And wow, yeah, Leona really wanted that penta, but apparently that was not in the cards, as Atomic picks up that double kill. Atomic will actually go down, ending that killing spree. And now that Ted Stiggles is alive, accompanied by Talandra, will this be enough to pick up the kill? The flash stun is going to be enough to pick off Smithy. Will Smithy actually go down there? Yeah, no! Oh my goodness, an excellent save there by the ult. Leona turns around and gets off one more stun. Will actually opt for the Zenith Blade again, but will we actually see Smithy get out alive? So many trolls have been engaged right now. Smithy is running through the jungle. Talandra almost gets snared there, but will actually be able to drop the Tiger Stance. I just don't think that they will have enough damage to do this. Actually, the rest of mTw.NA is respawning. Smithy is just juking and driving all over the entire map. The Bear Stance goes down. The Tiger Stance was about to go down as well, but the crushing, staggering blow almost enough to pick that up, but Atlanta now is the one in trouble. But Mandatory Cloud and Balls have been engaged. Talandra will be the next to fall, and that will be the rest of mTw.NA coming back to support. An excellent chase kiting there by Smithy.
And then ending with a Jarvan Cataclysm onto Slushy. If I had the Benny Hill music queued up, I would have been playing it for that entire engagement. As Smithy just doing such a good job. Now the Jester trying to recall in a bush. That is not going to happen. The entirety of mTw.NA is going to fall onto him. There's a tower just sitting here saying, hey guys, you're not supposed to dive me. Doesn't matter. They are just far ahead in this game right now. Mandatory Cloud is going to be falling down onto the middle turret, going to probably be picking up this inhibitor. We saw them diving platforms. We saw Smithy getting extremely close to dead and living with no HP. And people in chat before were really bashing on Leona, saying, oh, Leona's not a really good support character. Leona kept Smithy alive for the duration of that entire chase. She just slowed people down, sped them up with that Shirelia's Reverie, stunned people at the opportune times, didn't let Mundo hit a single cleaver down on him. And now we see in the middle here, Atomic having to pop their ult to push them off the tower. Looked like they wanted to go for a little bit of a team engagement, but this team is not on the same page as him for that, so the ultimate goes down to little avail. The tower just falls momentarily after that. They're going to melt down this inhibitor. Corki's going to melt down Victor, dealing so much damage. He's gotten that much farm out of the middle lane. Balls actually sealing the deal with a flag on top of Victor's, half bionic corpse. There's an ultimate going off. It is going to be picked up by Rumble, as Balls is going to be getting another OK. Rumble's now going to be picking up a kill on that Caitlyn. Udyr looks like he is not long for this world, popping that bear stance just to get out of there. Xenon Balls deciding not to tower dive the summoner platform at this instance of the game. Looks like instead they're just going to be going down onto these inhibitor turrets, I'm sorry, Nexus turrets, as they're going to be picking up a kill on one as it falls with much ease, as Corki's damage is too much right now. Looks like, oh, they are going to wind up diving the summoner platform. Xfinity getting super low. Is he going to try for, you know, a sprint around the entirety of Summoner's Rift again? We'll have to see about that one. I don't think the game is going to go on long enough. There's just a lot of dancing and ultimates going off in the fountain area, or summoner platform area. This is in Dota, but they're going to pick up a kill on the remaining Nexus turret. Nexus is not long for this world. Lzura is doing all they can to stop them from focusing down onto that Nexus, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Lots of kills going down left and right, but the most important kill of the game, of course, is going to be Lzura's Nexus, as Goose mTw.NA is going to take the series against Lzura 2-0 in some very awesome, very flashy, and very decisive gameplay coming out of them.
Man, and Jarvan just ending the game with the dunk that carried mTw.NA the entire way. Congratulations to both teams, but especially to mTw.NA for doing an absolutely amazing job, amazing strategies, amazing execution, and picking up the win in a 2-0 victory over Lzura.
Yeah, we could just take a look at the score screen very quickly. We could see that, look at Leona. She has 24 assists. That means 24 out of those 37 kills she was there for, even picking up 2 herself. She basically took 2/3 of the team's kills on her back. Jarvan, of course, with the ridiculous amount of farm against that Caitlyn, even at the end of the game, coming out ahead of her 211 to 160, 14 kills on that Jarvan. The dunk was just strong with this one, as he was able to really turn that bottom lane into Goose's favor, and it just, that Digester's Caitlyn, as good as he is with it, and his positioning was amazing through every single team fight, his farm was what really hindered him, as at the end of the game, he finally was able to complete that Infinity Edge, but by the end of the game, Infinity Edge isn't going to do as much as Jarvan's is when he has it, you know, like 20-something minutes into the game. So unfortunately, farm in all lanes was the story of the game that let mTw take this one, even though Udyr up top had excellent harass down on that Rumble. Look at the farm right now. He was ahead of Rumble by about 15 CS for the majority of the laning phase, but once it really got to that map roaming and the entire team fight kind of stage of the game, with dragons going down, like you mentioned, after he burned that teleport and Nautilus stole that dragon, that top lane just seemed to go not in his favor, as Rumble was able to just farm up enough, as Udyr had to go back and then go back to his top lane, and just Rumble just got a little bit too far ahead in creep score, and he just kind of wound up playing out that Udyr not as effective as he was in the beginning of the game.
Man, shout-outs to everybody who just witnessed whatever it was that we just saw there. We had 10,000 plus viewers, definitely beating out the SK trophy. Shout-outs to my buddy Panky, who's casting that right now. So thanks to everybody who's tuning in, just for supporting this cup, supporting both of these teams. If you want to go ahead and support both of these teams even more, you can go to mymtw.net. That is the English version of the German gaming site, the German gaming pro team mTw, who does a lot of work over in the EU West scene. If you want to go ahead and check out, I know Joe Miller and friends cast a lot of that for the ESL. If you want to go ahead and support Lzura, they are at mylzh.net. They will actually be running a really awesome tournament series called the League of Legends Max Frags Challenge #1, in which top teams can challenge Team Lzura for, I believe it's about $50 once a week. So if you and your friends think you're good enough to take down the team that just got defeated there by mTw.NA, go ahead and give that a shot at mylzh.net. As far as plugging the rest of whatever is going on here,
you know what, Rapid, why don't you plug yourself, because you've done an amazing job this entire series, and I know you're coming back later tonight to cast with me when we have CLG on the stream, but why don't you go ahead and plug yourself, because there's 10,000 people that love hearing your voice right now.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, my name is Rapid. If you want to go ahead and check out everything I do, you can follow me on Twitter at Rapid Transit 24/7. I have links to everything up there. Also on YouTube at Rapid Transit 24/7 with a 1 for the I in Transit. So it's a little bit wacky, but there are links everywhere. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook as well at Rapid Casting on Facebook. So yeah, I basically cast all the things, cast a lot of scrims between high-level teams, a lot of stuff for the ESL and NESL. So basically, tons of tournament, tons of top teams, and yeah, so go ahead and check that out. Make sure to go ahead and support not only myself, but also my co-caster, Optimus Tom, who I believe you can find on Twitter and Facebook as well.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Optimus Tom. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/OptimusTomTV. Of course, I am part of the amazing GG Chronicle community you can find over at ggc.leaguecraft.com. Of course, we are the ones bringing you this tournament in partnership with LeagueCraft, and of course our amazing sponsors at gaming.stackexchange.com. They have an amazing website you guys can check out. Of course, you know, they're also running amazing prize contests for the users. If you guys want a free video card or free RP this weekend, go ahead over to gaming.stackexchange.com. The person with the most viewed question and the highest rated answer tagged as League of Legends by March 28th will be receiving a video card worth up to $250 in value. Questions may be posted on gaming.stackexchange.com in order to enter. Furthermore, if you put the word ggClassic somewhere in your gaming.stackexchange profile and receive 2 upvotes during the tournament, you're going to be eligible to win one of many randomly distributed $25 RP cards. So not only are these teams going to be winning games, but you're going to be winning awesome prizes watching them win games. So that's pretty cool, isn't it?